Somebody answer me that. But Joe gets the ball back, and he still has the lead. And Joe does what Joe does. He goes down the field, and it gets to the point on a 3rd and 2, right after the 2-minute warning. Again, Houston down 1, 2 minutes, 3rd and 2. Make a stop.
And now it comes down to stopping Kansas City on 3rd and 2 to get the ball back, trailing by 1. A ball at the 21-yard line. And remember, Montana earlier in this quarter on 3rd and 1 in his own end threw the ball, and that was the big play to catch.
It's not a bad call right now.
No timeouts for Houston. They get down, and he's got the first down. He's got a touchdown. Two great veterans, one hands to the other, and Kansas City has scored with 1:55 to go.
All they need is a stop to get the ball into Moon's hands, and it can't get it done. And the reaction shots of all of those people involved, whether it be Montana or Herm Edwards or Paul Hackett or Marty Schottenheimer, they all pale in comparison to Buddy Ryan just saying, "Ah."
It's the cutaway of all cutaways, because you knew it was over. You knew the run in Houston was over. It's funny, we're laughing about it because they went down 8 points. That's a wrap. That's 2 scores. You can't go for 2. It was funny, the Marcus Allen run was one of those runs where, in the textbook they say you're supposed to go down on the 1-yard line.
Yeah.
It's like Damian Williams against the 49ers in this past year's Super Bowl. He was just gone, and he's technically supposed to take a knee, but screw it, we're going up and we're winning. And that was a wrap. I mean, that was the game, and as we said, Peter, that was a wrap for a lot of things in Houston.
It was, and things would never be the same. The Oilers were blown up after this, and Bud Adams, the owner of the team before the season, said it's like Super Bowl or bust, and it really was. They would trade Warren Moon, a Hall of Fame quarterback, to the Minnesota Vikings. Buddy Ryan would become the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals for 2 seasons.
2 years, not much. Never coached again.
That was it. Never coached again. And Ray Childress, who was a great defensive player for the Oilers, years later said that game was the real low. You go from being part of teams with great teammates and great coaches to obviously go into full-blown rebuilding mode overnight. That was the low point. So think about the Oilers in this one. You go from that historic playoff loss to Frank Reich and the Bills to this terrible loss at home in the playoffs, where eventually the owner says, all right, blow the whole thing up. And a few years later, they would move to Tennessee and become the Titans.
So it begs the question, if Montana doesn't get hot in the second half here, or if Warren Moon is sacked 5 times instead of 9, is it too crazy to say we could still have the Houston Oilers right now?